Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Adam RPG with me, Bring It On. So off camera I did some testing for this encounter to see about how many random encounters it takes to trigger this one. I tried two methods, the first being a walk around method. So what I would do is I'd walk around, if I hit a random encounter and it wasn't this one, I would just take it and keep walking. The second method was a reload method, so I'd walk around this area. If I hit a random encounter that wasn't this one, I would reload my last save and try again. In my experience, the reload method worked a lot better. It was about a 1 in 3 to 1 in 4 chance of triggering this encounter, where the other method was about a 1 in 8 to 1 in 10. So I recommend if you're trying to find this encounter and grab this companion, use the reload method. Again, results will vary. It's based off how much survival you have, and I think luck as well. It is a random encounter, so sorry if it doesn't work for you as it did for me. Also, I did take a few combat encounters off camera, even though I said last episode I wasn't going to, but I decided it would be best to do so. A lot of them will be repetitive, so I will take a lot of fights off camera when I'm traveling between locations. Because I need to grind up levels and experience so that I can get enough speechcraft to get into Krasno without spending 1,000 rubles. Fidel did gain a level off camera. I haven't allocated his skill points yet, but I'll take care of that after this encounter. So anyway, you're rather good at survival. So you hear a dog yelping and humans screaming insults from a huge distance. You can walk on by, but you can also come closer and see what's going on. Let's check it out. Alright, so this is not my first time trying this. This fight requires two things to go right. And it's already going wrong. So he needs to die, and Zulbars needs to survive. Alright, it might work out. It might work out. Kill him. Perfect. Okay, I think we've got this. Perfect. So it hasn't worked out like that for me so far. I've been trying to record this. This is my, again, I think my 4th attempt at this. Alright, the huge Wolfhound is guarding a man's corpse, baring his fangs at you. He doesn't look as if he's about to attack you, but you better watch out. Despite his wounds, the huge beast can easily tear out your throat. Alright, step back just in case. Because we need something off the guy's corpse. Yeah, you need Zulbar's collar in order to recruit the dog. So let me quick save. Okay, I didn't hear the ding. The huge dog obviously doesn't feel too well. He licks his wounds, tired, and starts growling threateningly the moment he sees you. Show him the collar. I'm your friend. You carefully stretch out the collar. The dog gives you an unkind look and starts sniffing. Suddenly he calms down. Now he looks puzzled rather than aggressive. Seems you've indeed been able to mitigate him after all. Well, there you go. Good doggy. The Wolfhound still eyes you with mistrust, but his former hostility has disappeared without a trace. I give the Wolfhound a piece of meat. The huge dog looks at the piece of meat in your hands. Apparently he doesn't understand what is going on. At last, he snorts in a funny way and wearily takes the meat from your hands. He starts eating your gift, bite by bite, looking up at you from time to time. Alright, we will, let's use strength. I have 11. Start energetically scratching the Wolfhound's belly. You confidently scratch the huge dog's belly. Despite his initial apprehension, he gradually relaxes and even sticks his tongue out with enjoyment. At last, the Wolfhound barks cheerfully and licks your palm with his wide tongue, which gives you a tickling sensation. You ruffle his fur, satisfied, and slap yourself on the hip as you straighten up. The Wolfhound jumps to you and looks at you expectantly. Let's go, boy. Alright. We now have Zulbars. He's only level 1. And again, these are he only has 4 skills he can put points into. And he has a unique skill tree. Whereas all the human companions have the same skill tree, Zulbars has his own. And I think the best way to build him is to just make him tanky. Which most of his skill tree, most of the branches do for him. So plus 5 HP total. see, during combat, if your dog gets adrenaline rush, things start going south. If your dog's health falls to less than half, he gets plus 15 HP. If his health is less than a third, plus 10. Then recovery plus 2 AP when health falls to half. I think the dodge is the best thing to do, just to avoid the damage. Plus 20% resistance to knockdown. Plus 20% chance to hit. Stall learns some new tricks. If he doesn't change position in combat, he's better able to dodge blows. Plus 5 to dodge if the dog hasn't moved this turn. And plus 3 to dodge. So that gives him a plus 8, where this gives him a plus 7. So a bunch of dodge chance. The no penalty for wearing dog armor. There's a set of dog armor you can find. Well, you can't find it. You have to buy it from a merchant. At least as far as I remember. You can't find it randomly out in the wastes. Yeah, I think this is the better way to go. I mean, this is the best. We'll get this first. Plus 7 to dodge. Oh, he doesn't have any points. Okay, he has to level up first. He's really close to leveling up, so that works out. He has a ton of health, though. He's already got 71 health, which is more than I have. What is his endurance? Only 5. Okay. And then, what do I need? Oh, yeah. Fidel, pistols and SMGs, and technology. I'll give him 30 there, and then pistols and SMGs. Alright, then here, let's see, you prefer to do your talking with lead. Plus 50% to damage and plus 10 to hit chance if you and your enemy are both using pistols or SMGs. Okay, works for me. There we go. Now we have 2 companions, ready to rock and roll. My plan, as it stands, is to do the Abandoned Factory questline. Gain some levels and hopefully get enough speechcraft to get into Krasno without having to spend any money. So off camera, I did find some loot. I got a Savage Shield. I believe a cultist was using it, which gives me a plus 7% damage resistance, plus 4 damage threshold, minus 16 dodge. And my attack's accuracy decreases. And also I got a mask, which gives me plus 2 stealth and plus 4% toxic resist, and I also found Fidel one of those as well. Anyway. We go to the Abandoned Factory. There is a timed quest I need to do there. Let's quick save again. I am getting hungry. Oh, something I didn't showcase. I walked past a couple locations on the map. I'll just show it off real fast. Actually, it may have appeared at the beginning of this episode. If I were to walk close enough to this truck or to this building, it would create a green circle like this on the map, and we could enter it. There are locations like that on the map. If you see something on the map, just walk up to it, and it may or may not be a location to check out. Alright, so the skeleton... Can I go around it this way? Nope. But I can loot it. Let's try to avoid walking into the poison yet. Alright, let's not go there yet. So we're going to have a few people to talk to here. This episode and next episode will probably be... The rest of it will probably be talking. I'll try and knock out a couple quests this episode. If time permits. So a couple of things to take note of in on this map. Where's it at? So over here. Again, I don't know if I can get over here without triggering. Nope. Before you stands a grim man with carefully trimmed hair, wearing a padded black jacket. Seeing you, he spits on the ground near your feet, adjusts his grip on the assault rifle, and eyes you coldly. Hey mate, what brings you to this neck of the woods? Chill out, dog. It's your boy, coming straight from the underground. Oh, a real street hustler. How do I know it's okay for you to hang around here? Show him the thief passport. Does this piece of paper tell you anything? After looking at the card, he smirks and takes a few steps towards you, relaxing his hold on the assault rifle. Got yourself a thief's passport, I see. This is getting interesting. Where did you get it? Krasno? Yeah, where else? Right. These cards are only made by those hacks in the big city. I don't respect them all that much, since our team isn't part of the underground. Who are you all then? Us? We're the next closest thing to a legitimate force of law. Our chief's already been talking with the Krasno Trade Council. We're asking them to recognize us as an official strike force in the region. We'll be guarding the northern border, get it? Soon we won't have to loot the homes of nearby peasants. We'll tax them all proper-like. Heh, no punk will be able to join our mighty group then. I sure do love the law. The man looks at you with a smirk. You got twitchy real fast, man. I was just kidding. You're one tough son of a gun. We always need your type around. Let's pretend I granted you amnesty. I can ask you some questions. Go ahead. Why the heck not? How are things, my man? The man smiles slightly and scratches his head. Huh. Well, I'm standing here, keeping guard over the camp. Good air in these parts, both in day and night. I see. Tell me about yourself. I'm called Kasoi, and I work for Dan. I started back before the war, after I got out of juvie. It's kind of a sad story if you think about it. Tell me about Dan. He's a great guy. Not really one of the high-ranking thieves, but he has a vision, you know? A plan for all of us. Well, sure. Tell me about this place. It's an old, dilapidated factory. Heck, if I know what they used to make here. Or I know... Wait, if I... Or heck if I know what they used to make here. Keep misreading things. Bricks, I think. Now it's our base of operations. Our small army rests here between our valiant attempts to protect the local villages from all kinds of trouble. And here I thought we were the bandits around here. Don't think about it too much, or it might bite you in the butt one day. Sure, we take our share from the local simpletons, but we spend that money to protect them. There are so many freaks, mutants, and cold-blooded buttholes crawling around that without our protection, those peasants would already be dead, eaten, and crap out by now. Wow, now that's true heroism. I smell something fishy. Then go find a doctor and get your nose checked, because what I told you was the truth. Okay. What's news around this place? I heard that the Atom organization is a real thing after all. I always thought only fools believed in it, but the other day I saw a troop of their soldiers with my own eyes. They're passing through Ultranoia village, and they weren't from Krasno, or any other place I know of. Yeah, real food for thought. You don't say. Hey there, Wanderer. Look, I'm here about a job. None of my business. Go see Dan, Denisinovich. He's the boss. He holds office in that little house behind my back. Tell him you came from Kasoi. Maybe he'll give you some work. Alright, I see. Well, I gotta go. Welcome. Take a walk around the camp if you want. Sorry, some of the translated dialogue in this game is a little rough. But it does add its own charm to the game, which I do appreciate. But trying to read it out loud, it keeps catching me off guard, like some of the mannerisms in the speech. Oh, so did Zubar's level up? He was really close. Or does he only get combat? I think he only gets combat experience. Alright, so this, I think you have to blow open with dynamite. Or some other explosive. So I'll try to remember that that's there once I find something I can blow it open with. Alright, so this little area is for a quest later on. I don't know if I can trigger it. Is there a bottle sitting inside the trash can? Can I get inside this building? Yeah. I think that's everything worth looting for now. Except for what's inside the factory itself. Okay, we're off to a really good start. We're sitting on a good chunk of cash. I've got a shield pretty early on, which is nice. I do need that one perk that takes away the penalties for using a shield. But I like to have a shield and be the melee character on the front line so that my companions don't die. Because there's no way to bring them back if they die. Unless you reload, of course. Mind trading that for that. So you can have that as well, and... Come on, I'm 1 ruble away. Oh, he's a stimulant. That would be good. Alright, I'd trade for that as well. 88. What I want to keep. Alright, there we go. I'll let him have 2 extra. Ooh, that'd come in handy too. Alright, you know what? That's a worthwhile trade. I'll take that. And I can give Fidel that knife. A bold bearded man wearing a pre-war tracksuit is standing in front of you. He's staring intently at the ground as though his shaven head is troubled by some heavy thoughts. However, as he feels you approaching him, he flinches and speaks to you first. His voice sounds almost timid. Oh, hello there. What brings you here? What are you beefing about, big guy? The man looks around him nervously and turns back to you. A fake smile appears on his face. Never mind. I'm not beefing about anything. Whatever made you think that? Heh. Heh. Ah, come on. You can tell me. I can keep it secret. The man only shakes his head and lowers his gaze. Forget it. Nothing important happened. It's just a whim. I wouldn't recommend lying to me. Are you plotting something? Spill it out. The man twitches frightenedly and begins to nervously look around. Finally, he sighs heavily, as if he's come to some difficult decision, and addresses you in a husky, unruly voice. Alright. Don't start the fuss. Listen, I've got, a quick question. In short, here's the thing. I mean, how do I put it? Don't drag it out. What's the problem? Well, to make a long story short, have you ever thought of hitting on a guy? Like, in that sense? As soon as the man fires out the words, he blushes violently. Geez, why are you asking? Why asking? Well, you see... The bearded guy looks around and bends closer to you. Have you seen the lad at the other gate to the camp? The man casts a quick look to the side and switches to whisper. I'm not talking about the Kosoi. We've got Sasha by the second gates, and there's this little lad who's running around him all the time. He's wearing a mask and a hat. Darn it, I just had this thought that... Well, darn, I mean... In short, I just had this thought about this lad. If you know what I mean. And now it bugs me. Do you fancy the lad? What's so bad about it? These things happen. I'm glad you're so open-minded about it. I'm afraid the rest of the gang don't share your liberal views. The bearded man motions in a wide gesture to the factory yard, where scary-looking huge men with sullen faces are hanging out. I'm not even sure how I feel. No kidding. It's the first time like this, or something like this has happened to me. I mean, I don't even know what to do in a situation like this. I guess your colleagues won't appreciate it indeed, but I'm sure there are places in the wasteland where you'll be welcomed. Maybe there is, but should I really leave the factory just because of a minor suspicion about myself? I'm used to living here already, and I've got friends here. Ugh, no, I better figure something out myself. Well, suit yourself, it's your business. The bearded man coughs embarrassedly and snivels. So, now that I've got this awkward load off my chest, maybe there's something else you wanted to discuss. I only wanted to ask you a few questions. The man sighs and nods reluctantly. It's evident that your natural charm has worked on this sad guardsman. Alright, what would you like to know? Tell me a bit about yourself, mate. There's nothing much to tell. Before I joined the factory guys, I'd been surviving on my own, with just a knife or a weapon, and nothing but stale bread to eat. Once I came across a dead body. Looked like the man was mauled, but he still had a weapon, ammunition, food and water on him. The food had gone off, of course, but the water bottle was intact, sealed. At first I was surprised. He had a weapon and bullets, so how come he couldn't defend himself? I disassembled the rifle and saw that a bullet got stuck when exiting the magazine case. I got it out, cleaned the weapon, reassembled it, and saw that it worked. Now that I had an assault rifle, I sure felt more cheerful. Believe it or not, but on my way here I only used 3 bullets. One time a wolf thought I was an easy prey, but it was badly mistaken. I killed it with a single shot. Right, that's 1 bullet. What did you do with the other 2? Yeah, one was for the wolf who wanted to make a dinner out of me, and the other 2 were to some gangers. They wanted to take my clothes, my weapon, and my bicycle. Well, strictly speaking, it wasn't mine. I found it by some abandoned house. A bike was a faster way to travel. So I spent those 2 bullets on them. Their corpses are probably still lying there, as I didn't even get off my bike to collect the trophies. Now I regret not collecting them, but there you go. Right, looks like you're indeed not a bad shot. Perhaps you have some advice for me. Show me your rifle shooting position. You showcase your shooting skills to the bearded man, and he gives you some valuable advice on how you could improve them. After the fruitful conversation, you feel that your level of shooting knowledge has grown significantly. Right, that's better. So what? Was my expertise helpful to you? Yep, thank you. It can really come in handy. Happy to help. One experience should serve other people and not just oneself. Well put. What can you tell me about this factory? As I understand, it used to be a brick factory. It doesn't really have any machinery here, but that makes sense. People have looted it already. And what they couldn't take became our headquarters. Now it's like a real castle here. So it is. What are you doing here? Same as everyone else. I guard the perimeter and patrol the area. Although we've got a rather civil area here by today's standards, it doesn't make it less dangerous. On the contrary, really. Where there's civilization, there's money. Where there's money, there are criminals. So there. So it is. Can I ask you something else then? Go on, I'm all ears. Tell me some rumors. There's a rumor circulating that the farmers from Ultranoia have sniffed out our man in their village and stabbed him to death. Maybe they hired some lowlife to do it for them. And it's an interesting rumor, isn't it? The man looks at you suspiciously. Yes. Yes, it is very interesting. Let me ask you something else. The man nods and pats his bald head with his hand. You know what? It's time for me to go. Bye. Okay. Whew, man. I had a hard time reading. Alright, I'm going to talk to these 2, and then I'll probably call it an episode there. And the next episode we'll start exploring inside the factory and knock out a couple of quests. Another, a super stimulant. This is for skill points, if I'm not mistaken. It might be worth doing this and grabbing some of these things off of him. I'm going to lose some money doing it. I mean, that's a pretty good haul, all things considered, and this is just weighing me down right now. So, I think I'm going to do it. Because you don't often come across merchants that carry this much money. Actually, I'd say I don't think it ever happens. So I'm going to do this now. Get some good loot early on. You see a tall man with a mustache dressed in a sports jacket. An assault rifle in his hands looks like a toy, and his wide smile invites conversation. Hey, can I ask some questions? Hey there, why not? Ask away. How are things in general? I'm alright. I recently got back from patrolling the area safe and sound. Isn't that great? I even found something during my patrolling. It was so heavy that I barely managed to carry it here. That's what I call luck. Every time I go on a patrol, I find something. He smiles widely and closes his eyes, probably remembering something wonderful. Or meet someone. Well, it's good to be lucky. Can I ask you something else? Yeah, go on. Tell me about this place. What is there to tell? Can't you see? Comrades, criminals occupied the former factory. It has a good territory and dislocation. It's strategically important. At first, a small group came. They made their home here. Then, other people joined them, and from all walks of life. Everyone wants to live. It's better here than staying alone in the wasteland, where one may not survive the night. Still, on average 2 people a week come here. Some move on as soon as they see us. Others stay with us. But the saddest part is that some will never leave this place. They were unfortunate to meet the wrong guard shift at the gates. So, be careful here. Stay alert. I got your point. And what are you doing here? Like everyone else, I used to survive with 1 click in the north, and now I'm with the criminals. But don't worry, I'm not a bad person. I don't wreak havoc. I guess my comrades, criminals, understood it too. They don't make me do something I wouldn't. It's more convenient and reassuring for them if I guard them or do the reconnaissance. And I got used to this place too. Tell me some rumors. You know what? You seem trustworthy. I think I can share something with you. Look, there's an old pier to the north from here. I know that there's a small stash there. The owners won't come back. Don't ask me why. It's just how it is. But you can have a rummage in their loot. I just never have time for it myself. But I can't let the good stuff go to waste. He motions at you to get out the map. Then he draws a circle in the place where, according to him, the stash is. He nods with confidence and gives the map back to you. Right here. Just remember not to go there at night. They say that at night one can meet various dangerous geezers there. They can whack you. Well, thanks. Can I ask you something else? Alright, so that place that he... Can I look at the world map? I don't think that I can. The place that he was talking about is one of the first places I went in my first playthrough. There's a speech check there, or a speechcraft check, that I failed. I'm interested in passing it this time. So, we'll get around to that. Alright, you see a skinny lad with huge blue eyes, who watches you closely from under a red scarf that covers his face. His eyes are inexplicably sad. Hey, can I ask some questions? Hello, what do you want? The boy's voice is high, but does his best to make it sound deeper, which only results in it sounding more funny. Who are you? You don't look like the local folk. My name's Dima. I'm a gangster too. Bursts into laughter. Are you indeed? A gangster? You've been taking candies from younger kids? Or writing bad words on the farm's walls? The strip of the boy's face you're able to see goes the same color as his scarf. The mustached man next to him casts at you a look full of suspicion, and grasps more firmly at his assault rifle. Very funny. I'm a valuable member of the team. I can guard and also do household chores. If you don't like it, you're free to go back where you've come from. Got it? The boy's eyes dart around. His voice cracks. Wait a second. You're hiding something. Tell me what's wrong. The boy shoots a quick look at the mustache guard at his side. He shakes his head, but to no avail. The boy pants, then suddenly lowers his head and briskly tears off his scarf. And now it's a young woman who stands next to you. Surprised? My name is Avdotya, or Dunya if you prefer. I'm sick and tired of hiding. It's so hard to pass yourself off as a man. People side-eye me and steer clear of me already, as if afraid they'll catch something bad from me. Now that was unexpected. The mustache guard shakes his head and readjusts his assault rifle so that it is more comfortable to grasp. Then he starts paying closer attention to your conversation. The girl looks at him affectionately and turns to you. I fell in love. It was love at first sight, just like in the fairy tales. I ran away from home with him. She points to the mustache guard, and he gives you a barely perceptible nod. It wasn't until I saw the place that I realized what I'd got into. but it was too late to change anything. We decided I would dress as a man to be at his side. He's with the gangsters, but he's a nice guy. He's no gangster himself, really. They simply were the first people he bumped into when he had no food or weapon, so he stayed with them. And why do you pretend to be a man? There are all kinds of folk here. For the most part, they're not really bad, but there are people you wouldn't want to meet in a dark street. And there are also others, whose souls have long since become callous. It goes with the job, I guess. I see. How did you meet? The girl sighs and lowers her eyes. It's hard to tell if she's happy or sad. I lived with my father then. He'd repair cars and agricultural equipment, did his best to fix what was broken, and I looked after the house and the garden. The mustache guard comes to you and holds the girl by the shoulders. She grabs onto his hand and looks back at you. Once our village had guests. These were Sasha and his guys. They'd heard through the grapevine that Denisovich, Dan, was hiring, so they decided to join his gang. They set up a camp near the village and brought their car to have it fixed, and asked the chief for directions, of course. The mustache guard winks and says, "I'm Sasha. Nice to meet you." You nod in response. Meanwhile, the girl goes on with her story. As my dad worked in the village car repair shop, they turned to him for help. While he was crouching under the bonnet, Sasha and I chatted a bit. I liked him straight away, and so did he. Then what? He told me stories of the wasteland, and big cities, and different villages, and forests, and mountains, and people. People. He opened up a whole new world to me. Jeez. The world I hadn't known even existed. The girl sighs again and squeezes Sasha's hand tighter. My father would have never allowed me to set out on a journey, and I decided I would run away. It was a spontaneous decision. I didn't think twice. So early in the morning I got in their car and left, onward to the sunrise. I understand. The road is tempting, especially when you're young. Yes, that's true. And there's nothing bad about setting out on an adventure. The time was ripe, but you know, I haven't seen Dad for so long. Sorry about that, my throat. That's giving me a little bit of trouble. But you know, I haven't seen Dad for so long. He doesn't know I'm alive, that I'm safe. I did a bad thing. I've left him alone and had no idea how he's getting on. Tears swell in Dunya's eyes. Look, if I meet your father, I can give him a message from you. You must travel a lot. I can tell by the look of you. Please do, please. He's short, has reddish hair, old. The girl covers her face with her hands and sobs quietly. If I meet him... Okay, I have a couple more questions. Yes, of course, go on. How are you? If it's not a secret, of course. The girl heaves a sad sigh. It's getting worse every day. I'm scared of everything and everyone. I'm afraid Sasha might not return from her raid, or that people will find out who I am and start mocking me, or worse. So I'm sort of expecting something bad to happen all the time. Okay, then I have another question. Danya smiles politely and nods. Tell me about this factory. There are all kinds of people here, repugnant and mean as well as decent guys like my Sasha, who've come here totally by chance. Here they found a roof, a safe place to spend the night, and food. So they agree to work here. People call them gangsters, but they don't do anything atrocious. Though there are also those who find pleasure in mugging and killing people too. It seems like the factory is on the verge of a violent clash between the good and the not-so-good guys. I see. And what do you do here? I help Sasha to guard the perimeter. I do some household chores. I do lots of stuff. Look how huge the factory is. Plenty of people means plenty of work. Okay. Any idea what the factory folk are up to? They want to secure support of the local residents and start restoring peace in these lands. A great plan if you ask me. But the methods they use... Well, it's not for me to decide anyway. It's up to Denisovich. Dan. Okay. The girl nods silently and looks at you inquiringly. I'd like to have a word with you. What is it? What did you want to say? Oh, hey, cutie. How about you drop that zero and get with a hero? Wink. Partial success. It wasn't the best possible opening line, but your personality has definitely made an impression on Dunya. The girl looks at you knowingly and wags her finger at you. Haha, easy you. Come on. Try acting a bit more discreet, or Sasha will hear you. The girl giggles and lowers her eyes. The mustache guard casts a look full of suspicion in your direction and grips his assault rifle in a more comfortable way, making sure the gesture doesn't escape your notice. Sasha, I'm the guy your woman tells you not to worry about. It's okay. Dunya, can I ask you several questions? Okay. Can I trade with her? I don't need that. I don't use stealth. I'm no coward. Oh man, so much dialogue. Alright, I do want to go talk to this guy one more time. I think there's one more stage with this conversation. It's you again, Vagabond. What brings you here this time? I've got unexpected news for you about your lad. What news? What are you talking about? I think it's better to play it safe. This is a man, no doubt about it. The bearded man looks at you in confusion, but finally your words hit him, and he slouches his shoulders tiredly. Seriously? Darn, how am I supposed to live with it now? Especially that in all other cases, in fact, I only fall for women. Can I hit on him? Well, that's nice. It means you have more options available to you. The man smirks sadly. Well, I guess you could look at it that way. Yeah, it doesn't sound bad, although I'm still not entirely sure what's going on. It may not be a lad at all, but a girl in disguise instead. I don't believe you much either. I need a distraction. Maybe there's something else you want to discuss. Okay. Yeah, I think if you tell him that it's a girl, he hits on her. I don't know if anyone dies. But I want to keep these two safe because you can recruit them to come to your base later on. So I'm going to try and keep them in one piece for now. But I'm going to call the episode here, and the next one we'll continue exploring the factory. Knock out a couple of quests, and then probably talk to Dan in the next episode. We should be able to talk to all the rest of the NPCs next time. So anyway, thanks for watching. I hope to see you guys in the next one.